All right, let's talk eBay. They just had a monster year in 2025, and it looks like a huge strategic shift is really paying off. We're going to break down the numbers, but more importantly, we're going to dig into their billion-dollar bet on the future of how we shop. And hey, don't just take it from me. The CEO himself, Jamie Iannone, came out and called 2025 a milestone year. He's pointing right at their strategy and how they pulled it off. This quote really it sets the tone for everything else we're about to see.
Okay, real quick before we get into all the juicy numbers, the standard disclaimer. This is all for educational purposes, helping you understand what's going on with eBay's strategy. This is absolutely not financial advice.
So what does a milestone year actually look like when you put it down on paper? For a giant like eBay, the numbers are pretty staggering. Let's start with the foundation, the big headline figures.
First up, revenue for Q4 2025. We're talking a cool $3 billion. But it's not just about the big number itself. What's really wild is that this is a 15% jump from the year before. That's some serious momentum.
So where did that revenue come from? Well, it came from an even bigger number, $21.2 billion in what they call gross merchandise volume, or GMV. Just think about that. That's the total price of everything sold on the platform in just 3 months. It really puts the scale of eBay into perspective.
And of course, it's not just about size, it's about profit, right? Their non-GAAP earnings per share, which is a key number that investors really watch, came in at a super strong $1.41. So yeah, they're not just big, they are a very, very efficient money-making machine.
All right, so the numbers are massive, we get it. But the big question is, why? What's the engine driving all this growth? It's not just luck, it is a very, very focused strategic pivot.
And that pivot has a name, and you're going to hear it a lot: re-commerce. eBay is basically screaming from the rooftops that they believe the future of shopping, or at least a giant chunk of it, is all about pre-owned goods. So let's just be super clear on what we mean by re-commerce. It's the whole world of buying and selling stuff that's been pre-owned. It's about getting good value, sure, but it's also about sustainability and this huge movement toward a circular economy.
And just how big a deal is this for eBay? Well, let's take just one single category, fashion. The total value of pre-owned fashion sold on eBay in a year is more than $10 billion. That's an enormous business all by itself. And believe me, eBay isn't just sitting back and hoping this trend continues. They are actively cementing their spot at the top. I mean, they've partnered up with the media giant Condé Nast. Their own research shows this pre-loved trend is just growing and growing globally. And get this, they've already created nearly $25 billion in positive economic impact from pre-loved items, blowing past a 5-year goal. They're all in.
This deep dive into re-commerce brings us to the absolute centerpiece of their whole strategy. It's their biggest, boldest move in a long time. Let's talk about the big bet on Depop.
Here's the classic problem for a company that's been around since the 90s. How in the world do you connect with Gen Z and Millennials, a generation that grew up on totally different apps and websites?
Well, here's a pretty direct answer for you. You go out and you buy the platform they already love and use every day. eBay is moving to acquire Depop for $1.2 billion, all cash. And Depop is a massive player in that consumer-to-consumer fashion space.
So why Depop? It just checks all the boxes. It's built for your phone, which is obviously critical. It's a direct pipeline to that younger audience everyone wants. It's totally focused on clothing and circular fashion, which is eBay's sweet spot. And the growth? It's just off the charts. Almost 60% growth in the US alone in 2025.
Okay, so this here is the official game plan for the Depop deal. You can see eBay expects it to start boosting their overall sales numbers, their GMV growth, right away. Now, yeah, they do expect a small temporary dip in earnings per share at first. You gotta spend money to make money, right? But look at that path to accretion. By 2028, they expect Depop to be adding to their bottom line. This is a long-term play for sure.
So if you take away one thing, it's this. This isn't just about buying a cool company. This whole move is designed to strengthen eBay's position and its appeal to customers in the fastest growing part of the market. It's a huge strategic move.
A great strategy is one thing, but investors always have one question: what's in it for me? So with all this financial muscle, let's see how eBay plans on giving value right back to its shareholders. And they are not messing around. The board has given the green light for a new plan to buy back roughly $2 billion worth of their own stock in the next fiscal year. I mean, that is a huge vote of confidence in their own company.
And here's the full picture of that plan. You've got that massive $2 billion share buyback. And on top of that, they're bumping up the quarterly cash dividend by 7% to 31 cents a share. It's a really clear signal of financial health and a big commitment to their investors.
Okay, so strong foundation, happy shareholders. What's next? The road ahead seems to be all about two things: killer new tech and hitting some ambitious targets.
And technology, of course, is a massive part of this. eBay's rolling out some seriously cool AI tools. There's Magical Listing, which can build out a whole sales page from just a single photo. Then there's agentic search, so you can shop just by talking or typing like you would to a person. And for all you collectors out there, AI-powered scanning tools can tell you what something's worth based on past sales. It's all about making the platform smarter and way easier for everyone.
And finally, here's their official outlook. They're setting the bar high. For the first quarter of 2026, they're expecting to stay strong, with revenue right around that $3 billion mark again, and GMV pushing up close to $22 billion. The plan is to keep the momentum going.
Which really leaves us with one big, fascinating question, doesn't it? You've got eBay with its global reach, its deep pockets, and all this new tech. And then you have Depop with its authentic, street-level connection to a younger generation, that undeniable cool factor. So the billion-dollar question is, can eBay's massive engine actually make Depop even cooler? Or does becoming part of a huge corporation risk watering down the very thing that made it special in the first place? Their whole re-commerce bet might just hang on the answer to that.
And that, right there, is the billion-dollar bet eBay is placing on the future of shopping. We'll definitely be watching to see how it all plays out. Hey, if you want to keep up with the biggest moves in tech and business, do us a favor and like and subscribe for more videos.